All right, it looks like we're live. Welcome to the weirdest portal of the month.
We're live and still alive. Do.
Barely hanging in there. Good evening, you guys. It's Ona and Dr. Vicky. Today is January 25th, 2025, and this episode of Mystic Sisters is dedicated to the cosmic landscape who has just been throwing wrenches in it us all week, right?
Well,
I don't know what kind of candle to light at this point. I don't even know.
Maybe a let it go candle, because we're actually today we had the semi-square between the sun and the moon, which means that we're at the last part of the lunation cycle of the moon. And this is the most magical time. It's the time when we extract meaning from everything that's happened in the last month and planting seeds for the future. And it's also a very magical time. You can do some pretty intense magic, set your intention, all of that, write it on a candle. We're going to have I guess the moon.
There is some celebration this weekend for the new year, so a kind of like a parade thing and stuff in Uptown. And then the actual Chinese New Year will be, formally activated, I guess, like in February. But there is that kind of energy that's sort of bubbling up. And it just got warm. You guys. It was so cold. We didn't go out for a few days. Giblets hadn't been up for a week, right?
It's been really cold.
And today was 42, 43. That was so
heat wave. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the heat wave. It's like 25 out there, and I thought I was smart and left the heat up in my office. And my husband, who I sometimes call Lester Lightbulb, because he's one of those people who goes around and shuts the lights in the rooms that you're not in.
Fair enough.
That's actually a name that his sisters gave him when he was a kid. So he's been doing it since he was a kid. And he must have came down and lowered the heat, and I'm freezing. Yeah. And by the time Mystic Sisters is over, it'll be nice and warm.
You'll be warm. I know. It's a little delayed response. This is what I think the problem is, or delayed gratification kind of thing. That might actually be the theme of the week, because Uranus has been throwing so many curveballs. But
delayed gratification.
Yes.
Not everybody. Some people are getting gratified right and left.
I know. But I think that because we know so many things are just surfacing that we've already thrown cards on and done a lot of divination, are just coming to the surface. We expect the results to be as quickly as we want them.
I know. I think, I don't think the psychics were wrong. No. I think the psychics are right. I think what always messes you up is you're always sort of reading it within the context of what you already know. But it doesn't mean that the cards aren't telling you like what's going to happen. It just happens later usually. It doesn't usually happen when you think it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think our little experience today with trying to take Giblets for a walk, and the elevators were out, and he was so happy. And I'm like, buddy.
He wasn't happy the elevators were out. He was happy he was going for a walk.
He was so happy. And we got there, we looked, and I thought, well, maybe somebody's moving and that's locked out, and nothing was working. I really had like a Uranian moment, right? And Giblets was about to have a Uranian moment all over the hallway.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So he was so disappointed, but it was like that delayed thing. We went for a walk later, and a nice long walk. And it was really kind of like we talked about last week, that sort of whiplash recovery from really, really cold weather, icy, in the comments here, somebody is from this area, and she said it was 43 degrees in Chicago today. Yeah. Yes, Mary, it was.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
It was.
So good to have you all here. We haven't gotten the heat wave yet. I think maybe tomorrow it'll warm up a little. But one of the things, it's been really clear here because we haven't had a lot of precipitation either, except for a little snow. Almost every night I got to see this moon, the whole series of this moon. It's been a very evident in the sky moon around here. It's pretty interesting.
Yes. I did get a couple of pictures the last couple of nights because if I look out in the morning, and I have some on my phone, I'll share with you that it's been that you can still see at a certain time, you could see the whole outline, but only the sun is only shining on part of it. And that's where the sun is coming up, and it's really intense.
Yeah, it's the waning moon. It's actually the waning crescent. I saw it this morning. You probably are not going to see it anymore unless maybe one more day. Because this is when the moon disappears.
You're not going to see it anymore because I kind of yelled at it today.
Oh, you're supposed to sing and draw down the moon. You're not supposed to yell at it. What did you yell?
I kind of yelled at it today. It's because this whole movement of Aquarian energy that's happening, the planets lighting up, and some of the things I'm sensing and what's happening around me. I had a family loss this week. So a lot of synchronicities and things like that are happening. It's just been like overwhelming. And I told the moon that.
Well, it is the dark of the moon, so the moon can take that.
Yeah, I said
and
stop.
Make magic on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the new moon is going to be in Aquarius. It's going to be the year of the wood snake, as somebody in the chat mentioned. We also on that day have a conjunction of Mercury and Pluto, so that's pretty powerful. On that new moon day, and Mercury goes into Aquarius on Monday.
Yes.
So that's going to feel different. It's in Capricorn now. I think that I know we'll talk about this, but all these crazy things that he's signing, and we don't have to mention his name because we know who we're talking about.
Yes, if you want to, that's okay.
Look at my signature. I'm not going to say his name if I can avoid it, but anybody else can say his name as often as they want.
I'll light the fire.
That's all happening with Mars retrograde.
Yes, number one.
So to really like get anything started when Mars is retrograde is a little bit, if Mercury was retrograde too, I'd say he has no chance and snowball's chance in hell to get it through. But, some things he's going to get through, some things he's not. And he's going to get us all upset about it. And that's the thing. He's like, it's like vampires. Like they create chaos and then they suck the life out of the chaos. We can utilize that chaos for creative purposes. We don't have to allow his chaos to make us unhappy. That he can only do that with our permission. Now we can have righteous indignation and we can say that's wrong and we can speak our mind, but you can't let it hurt your heart because it's not going to do us any good. Yeah. We have to get ready.
It's the fear. It's the CEO that scares you into towing the line. It's a bully. It's a bully. If you start buying into the fear, do not buy into this fear. We've had issues already with, ICE and federal agents and stuff like that, like trying to storm a school. Like the stories range from a misunderstanding to ICE raid. It took every corner on social media. We have a protocol in this state that, we're all given to sort of understand how we can protect the rights of the people we house and care for, and where ICE is they can do their thing where they cannot.
Right. Well, in Newark, New Jersey, they raided some sort of company, but Newark, New Jersey is a sanctuary city. They're not supposed to go in there and do that.
Yes, we
Well,
have.
they don't care what they're supposed to do or not do. We obviously know that, but they actually got a guy who's Puerto Rican and a veteran, and so they wouldn't let him go until he could prove that he was, not an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, no. What we know is that a warrant that is signed by a judge can be honored to arrest someone anywhere.
Right.
ICE does not use warrants that are issued and stamped and time-stamped and signed by a judge. So in Chicago, you can be in a public area, but you cannot go through those doors. You cannot come in. So nobody's coming in to anywhere. Mm-hmm. We're all aware of this. Everybody, there's no private area involved. There is no warrant. There is ways that you can talk to them. You need to get information. I'm sure you're already recording them as it's occurring, and you are still safe in this county, in the city, in this state. There should be similar, but I think it's really tight here. I'm so tired of this game that he's playing. It's a fear game.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a fear game because you know what scares me? Our elevators were broken today and maintenance is all over the place. There are people that work in this building that are servicing us right now. There are people that, just like that preacher lady,
mm-hmm.
You have no idea the support, how your everyday life is supported by somebody who is an immigrant or undocumented.
Yeah. Yeah. Forget orange juice. The price of that's going to go through the roof.
I had a citrus.
Oranges are rotting on the vine.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a citrus thing a couple weeks ago. And now eggs are a thing because the bird flu is wiping out birds by the thousands. Yes, we as diviners and psychics know we were talking about viruses and how that occurs and how it's going to. Here it is, bird flu. We already knew that.
Linda Bishop says, I am boycotting businesses that support Stinky McStink. Stinky McStinky. Yeah, well, let me give you a couple of names. Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Walmart.
Okay.
Those are the ones that I can remember off the top of my head.
Oh my gosh. The first two really, really pack a punch.
I know. That's the only ones that I really shop at. If I shop for anything, it's that.
Yeah. Primarily, that is where I get my, thrift stores, which are hand-me-downs from Marshall's anyways. It's the same kind of thing.
I know. Oh, Target was not on the list, so I was happy to see. So at least I can go somewhere.
Yeah.
Aldi's was not on the list, but Trader Joe's was not on the list.
Yeah.
But I shared a video. The woman went through all the companies that just gave money for the Trump administration.
Those two options are doable.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
So noted right now.
I was thinking that, things are probably going to get quite expensive, especially if we put 25% tariffs on on Canada and Mexico.
Hmm.
Our biggest trading partner is Mexico,
Hmm.
not China.
And how many times have we been telling people to learn how to grow your own food?
I know. I know. I was saying to Michael,
And we're going to call you
we're
on
gonna
it.
have to get chickens this year.
I would, Vicky.
Yeah.
I would. I really would. It was very, very popular and trendy until neighbors complained in like the neighborhood where I used to live and stuff like that. And then they couldn't have them anymore, or there was just a proliferation of it. And now people would like steal eggs from you, right? Because I don't even know how much they are. I just was thinking it's been a long time since I did an ovomancy, and I probably couldn't afford to do one right now.
So I picked a Mystic Sister card for the
Thank you.
evening,
Yes.
and I got Nyx, and I'll read it to you guys. So this is for the week, guys. This is what the Mystic Sister Oracle says. Mystery and the unknown. Nyx is the Greek goddess of night, beckons you to relax within the great mystery of the cosmos. She is a shadowy figure who thins the veil to magical realms. It is said that those who worshipped her would do so at night in complete darkness. And that sort of lines up with the whole idea of the dark of the moon, right? Nyx reawakens our sense of wonder and awe of the unknown. She urges us to relax and find um, peace with the deep mysteries. She calms us when we become anxious over things we cannot know. We often become so involved with day to day mundane tasks that we forget that deep magic is at work behind the scenes. Synchronistic events, strange coincidences, powerful intuitions, and epiphanies through dreams are more likely to occur and help to restore your faith in the mysteries of the universe.
So this is a time where you should pay attention to your dreams because this is where that connection is talking to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
This Aquarian stuff is super chilly too.
Aquarius is always cold. It's a cold sign. It's always a cold time when all this Aquarius, it's really the dead of winter is
Yeah,
Aquarius.
it really is. It's supposed to be, but it's 40 fart degrees outside
Well,
right
that's fine. I'm not going to argue with that if it comes my way because I am freaking so tired of being cold.
I know, I know. It
And those
was
poor people
really,
down south. Oh my God. Anybody here get snow for the first time ever? I mean,
that was, and how many like mixed reactions were there for this Florida? A very unusual, again, a theme that came up from last week, climate whiplash that occurred down there. I mean, can you imagine that you booked a trip to get married or some crap and it's 12 inches of snow out in Florida, like a destination event?
yeah, it snowed
Stop.
where Michael used to live in Florida for a little while, right around Pensacola and Destin, and it snowed there. They actually got snow on the ground. I'm like, hey, Pensacola got snow. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, hell froze over, don't you know?
Yeah, it's been such like we just need some kind of explanation for it, and don't listen to we can control the weather, because if we could, we wouldn't do that.
Well, we could do weather magic, but that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different video.
Yes, unless somebody drew a big circle around just like certain parts of the country just to have an extreme event. No, I think it's kind of a wake-up call.
Yeah. Well, I think the weather has a sense of humor. I really do. You red states, you think, okay, what you think you don't want, okay, well, we're going to snow on you then. You don't think you don't believe in climate change? I'm not talking, of course, about the
I
people.
know, but
I'm talking
this
about
has been it's been uncontrollable. California will have been on fire for almost 2 straight weeks.
yeah, they're supposed to get, sometimes we have a Californian on here, but they're supposed to get rain, I think, this weekend. Now they're worried about
do.
mudslides, which of course they have to worry about because,
That's predictable.
they actually got mudslides from the amount of water that they've been dropping on the fires. It's actually destroyed a few homes.
Yes. Yes. And there's also the Kilauea volcano erupting. So tell us what the cosmic landscape has to say about all these extreme weather events in this planetary lineup here, which is happening in Aquarius, ruled by the shocking event gas giant.
Uranus, which goes direct this week. So it's a very, very much a Uranian kind of week. And the only thing you can really say about Uranus is expect the unexpected. I want to tell you all the shit that's coming down with this guy and all the things he says he's going to do. He can't do most of them. And a lot of it is just shock and awe and wanting us to be afraid. And we can't allow it. We can't allow it. That's it. End of story.
They are fear tactics. And when I see and hear about stuff like that, I'm like, wow, what a waste of resources and money. What a waste of resources. And now we need to run this country with, people being, it's just a fear tactic. I am not afraid of that shit.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Antoinette's granddaughter says she always has Campbell's chicken noodle soup and saltines. I know, right? That's one of the few things that like canned stuff that I will eat. Like I used to love as a kid, but like now because I married Michael, everything is fresh. I'm not complaining, but I do like a good chicken noodle soup. For sure.
I cannot eat anything out of a can.
Yeah.
It ruins everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were putting the price of eggs down. I think a dozen eggs here. I think they're like $6 here now. They went up to $8, then they go down, then they go up. But everything in Massachusetts has to be cage free, so they charge more for it. I don't think they
honestly. Some of the farmers markets eggs that I paid for in the past and summers past were up to $7 for fresh eggs from Happy Chickens.
Well, fresh eggs from Happy Chickens, I would pay that money because it makes a huge difference. That's the main reason we want to have, because the eggs have just been, I don't know. The meat is weird. The eggs are weird. I know you don't eat meat, but we still eat meat. It's hard to get a nice piece of meat anymore.
That's really interesting. Well, I know it might be harder, more harsher guidelines to, keep that stamp of organic or farm raised or grass fed certification.
Yeah.
If it's more difficult or more costly to do that, then it's going to be harder to find. But remember when romaine lettuce was like $14.99 because there might be a freight issue so we know that they pull from one and give from another, that this is the way this sort of trade category works, right? But I do think this is related to the chicken flu.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They've been not able to isolate it quick enough to stop it.
And now that they're not going to tell us if there's anything going on because they shut that down, whatever that is. No information.
Well, I don't know if the scientists are even allowed to disclose anything, if they know anything, because they don't want to freak people out. Right? Can you imagine? I think if you take proper precautions, you can steer clear of any virus. But I don't know how this is transmitted, if it's airborne or contact or.
I think somebody did. There was a transfer to a human, but I think they worked at the chicken place. So maybe just from, I mean, that could be anything, right? It could be you know, exposure to the air with their feathers, or maybe it's poop. I don't know. I don't know how it goes.
Mary says vegetable prices are going to increase because of the chain where, we have people that work out there and then harvest, that we're afraid that we're going to lose all of that. I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to get that bad, but there's certainly a story to launch for an increased price. And again, there's got to be something or somewhere you can find where things are local that you can grow and do yourself, or at least support some kind of public garden. Like you guys have, it's like you're good with your garden.
Yeah. Carrie says AutoZone and Dairy Queen are on the list. You're breaking my heart.
Dairy Queen, that's okay. I don't have one in the neighborhood. I'm okay with that.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wow, yeah. we're getting some good recipes. I just ate too. I shouldn't read them. I'll get hungry again.
Christine says the Cubs owners in the neighborhood here, the Cubs owners and the Ricketts families are supporters of the felon. Yeah, but the neighborhood isn't. And you would never know that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the, it's pretty easy to decide who's backing him. Is not, if you're rich, you're on his side. If you're us, you're on the other side, or you're completely misinformed and delusional. Those are the choices, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are, a lot of these people have just, they haven't gotten the right information. And, they're not, necessarily curious about. They believe what they hear. Oh no, that's Jibs. She has to deal with Jibs. Did you hear that, everyone? That's okay. I'll take over. All right, let's see. Migratory birds can carry the bird flu. Yes, that's true. I saw a thing where there's a duck place in Long Island. They had to get rid of they had to euthanize all the ducks.
Really?
Yeah, it is migratory. Yeah, it does go. Yeah, it can come from migratory birds. I know they're finding a lot of dead geese. I think around here, I haven't seen any around here, but I've heard that people are seeing a lot of dead geese. It's so sad.
I'll have to sort of look around. All I've seen are pigeons. And then even on the way home, it's been so cold that the birds they're snuggled in their, warm places, but they're not out like they were. That's very interesting. Because we have a bird sanctuary right here. I'll have to see. Yeah, Jiblets was really good. He was tired. We went for a long walk after we had the elevator incident. And I thought, good, he's tired. He ate. And I apparently woke up from a fever dream or something. And now he's going to start screaming until I hold him or give him a cheese log.
We have a Bears fan in the audience.
Oh, nice. So the Bears just got a new coach, and that's a big deal. He's a young guy. He's all like, yeah, I love you guys. So we'll see what happens. But our sports teams are just sort of like, slipping through the cracks. It's really hard.
Mary says that the bird sanctuary on the lakefront is called Magic Hedge.
Do you call it Magic Hedge? Is it the one by Montrose, Mayor? the Montrose Beach bird sanctuary, they had like they just are very serious about it. It's kind of gated but there's a trail and they're strict about the foliage, what's growing there. It has to be native. I mean, they've got this nailed, right? Okay. Mary said yes. 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 The dune area.
Vanessa Marino says, time for a victory garden, making bread, purchasing items at farmers markets, swap and barter. Well, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get beyond the pale for stuff. And I like that though. I mean, that's the way it's always been. Like, how many tomatoes can you eat? Although we do can them and make sauce, but in fact, guess what we had tonight? We had summer sauce. It's like you open after you can, you smell the summer. It's like, the summer.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that the truth? It is. That's really nice to do. I mean, I used to do that. My aunt used to do that. We always had like that, like standardized sauce that can go pizza, it can go pasta. Yeah.
Yeah, make my own bread. That's what I want to learn how to do. I want to learn how to make bread.
It's really doable. There's a really good recipe on how to do it, like in a Dutch oven.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
It's very doable. And I'm not somebody that fancies working with dough. I've been working with clay, but that is so I can work with dough.
That's so you can have some dough. No.
We'll say you can have some dough, but it's really, there's an art to it, and your hands have to be a certain temperature and something, like.
Do you have those faces that you did? They were so beautiful.
I have it hanging on the wall, and I primered the other ones, but I am going to get up because Giblets is
having
himself asking for some cheese, which I do have available for him.
Oh, good.
So I'll grab both if you can.
Give the boy some cheese, will you? Jeez, what kind of mother are you anyway?
This bedtime snack log.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, let's see. Let's see what people are saying. Where did the bird flu start? That's a good question. Does anybody know that? I want to say California, but I'm not sure that's true. That might just be a lie. Sadly, I've come to the conclusion that we can't boycott everyone and every flipping. Yeah, well, yeah, but it's going to affect the economy as well. I can eat hundreds of tomatoes. We do eat hundreds of tomatoes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hey, huh? Oh, hi. Hi, Susan. Give a hug to that Labrador. She has the cutest Labrador. I'd be naked and starving. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know everything's owned by the corporations, but I think that things are going to change, and we're going to have to start depending on each other, bartering and stuff. It's going to be expensive to buy new things, and I think there's going to be a whole we all have so much stuff. We can repurpose things. We can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, most people have too much of everything, and why not? We'll just share it with people. I mean, I think that's what's going to end up happening.
The bird flu is from Antoinette's daughter said bird flu is from southern China. I don't know where it originated, but it seems like the bottom line crisis for me, because I am a vegetarian and I don't eat any of that, so it doesn't come up high in my priority of things I need to watch out for, as I'm trying to memorize the office of the Consul General, right? I mean, it just hasn't, but I could see how it's making such an impact. But it's also another scare thing. I think it's going to be okay. I don't feel like I did not write down eggs, did I? The sulfur thing, it might be a crisis for a while, but it
You
will
don't
be.
think this we're hitting smelling the sulfur because the gates of hell have opened?
Oh my God. You know what? Oh, we keep shutting them. They keep opening. I don't know. I think it's the planetary alignment because it's sudden kind of thing. It's more of a Saturn thing than anything. And it's been on and off. I think I
Well,
wrote it
that
in the
that
first one.
Saturn, Saturn is also the devil, in right. I mean, it's not that the Saturn is the devil, but the word
Right.
Satan comes from Saturn. The word Santa comes from Saturn, and Satan come from the same. Um, it's an archetype. It's an
Right.
archetype, you
Yeah.
know, and the energy this year is such that we haven't ever been here before. I know a lot of astrologers look back. When was the last time this, and this was happening? Never happened. We're at like a event horizon kind of point, and so a lot of the old stuff has to fall away, and we have to be able to flow with the change. And it's at a point it's going to stabilize, and we're going to rebuild, and we're going to live a different life. And
Yeah.
maybe it's going to be a better life. Maybe it'd be nice to have a community that you can depend on. You don't have to do everything yourself. We've become so isolated, especially after COVID. You know,
We have, but I think, in the year of 9, I think we already fall back on some of those default things that we learned when we had to isolate, when we were forced to isolate. So it's funny. There are a lot of people that still wear masks or wear masks. I don't know what the criteria is or if it's just one of their like safety nets. Um, it's really interesting kind of what's going on. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not worried a whole lot about the mutation of this bird flu hibernating and getting people sick. If it does, that person's probably already very compromised, and you know they already can isolate this virus. It's not new, so it wouldn't take as long to find it.
Mhm. I just think there's a lot of things that are going to happen within the next within the next couple of months. It's going to be the beginning of this year is definitely the most I want to say worrisome in that it's going to make people worry.
Hmm.
I think it shifts later in the year, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just what is that spitballing here?
Pretty much. Hmm.
Oh goodness gracious! I think we can all live a little more simply. You know.
Sendall says our public health office said when feeding wild birds, wear a mask. Our public health office, we don't get to feed birds. We're not supposed to feed the birds. There's already all kinds of pushback about anything. The raccoons are already there and all that stuff. You've got to be super, super careful. But typically, that's interesting because it is that what is that toxoplasmosis that you can get from bird poop and like cat poop. And that's not it. That is a fungus, but there are a lot of diseases that come from that kind of contact. So it's probably like particle
Mhm.
and never a bad idea. And if you're anywhere, I mean, wearing a mask, somebody said keeps your face warm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
when it's 1 or 0, it
Yes, it
comes
does.
in handy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I remember that winter that we wore masks. I don't think I wore my winter coat like at all.
I know I didn't have to invest in any lipstick when we were wearing masks. You just had to make sure your eyes looked good.
I noticed there was an explosion of false eyelashes that, woo,
Oh, jeez.
people decorated that part of their face so much more because that was the only identifier,
Yep.
you know?
Mm.
And somebody says their dog eats bird poop. Yeah, that's common. Yeah.
My dog used to eat any poop.
Yeah.
Didn't eat his own poop, but it's deer poop. Oh my goodness. It was like a delicacy. They were like little jelly beans to him.
Mm-hmm. Deer, goose,
Cat. Oh, loved go. We had to keep him away from the litter box.
cannoli did that. We spent a Christmas
At the vet.
because the clay
Yeah, yeah.
in the poop got
Yeah.
stuck in there because
Okay.
it was clay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, she pretty much ate rocks and stuff like that. Yeah, that was her thing. I'm like, oh my God, who starved you? It's okay. Cannoli.
Little cannoli. I miss her with her little hat.
I know. I miss her too. She's kind of been bouncing around. There's been a lot of ancestral stuff going around in this house the past couple of days, and that's one of them. Hopefully, she's been keeping giblets occupied because that was one thing that I did not hear from my neighbors about was your dog was bad dog.
That's good.
So I'm like, okay. That was kind of like on the fence because he got in trouble last weekend. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
you can't be perfect all the time, right?
I can't even think about that. I can't even like imagine and that is one of the words that I can't stand. I can't stand that word perfect.
Oh, well,
It sends
that's
me
good.
into a
Like me, because I ain't perfect anywhere near
yeah.
close to, nor would I care to be.
It makes me cringe because absolutely nothing is. And I will argue that every single time.
You know
Nothing
what they say
is.
now, perfectly imperfect. We are living our
Body.
perfectly imperfect lives.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Carrie says her daughter has 9 cats and buys cat food for you to.
Cat food
I
has got
know.
expensive. Oh
It,
my God.
is it? Yeah. I just got a box of
Food
chicken
for the
soup.
animals has gotten real expensive. Yeah.
I had a hard time finding the protein that doesn't make him sick to his stomach is lamb. And it could be like any, you know, manufacturer. It doesn't matter. And I had a hard time finding it.
Mm.
And I just got another bag and I'm like, I just like, I did a double take like by mail. Okay. And yes, by Amazon, because I wasn't going to drag it up the stairs or get in an elevator with that thing. So it was a bag I thought was bigger. And I double checked and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, buddy. Keep eating the cheap cheese. Because I really think about, wow, that did get more expensive just recently. So there is some kind of filler thing, or there's some kind of fear that is causing this to, surge. Right?
Well, there are a lot of fearful people, and they
Yeah.
have, they kind of have good reason.
Yeah.
But, I guess all we can do is take one day at a time, like we always do anyway. And, bear witness to what's happening. I started journaling today. I thought this would be a good time to journal about
This
what.
is a great time. Yes, we've had protests. It's been very Uranian involved, the planetary alignment. There are so many things that this is a time to start journaling. Is Pluto's, the beginning of the generation, and somebody goes back and looks at what you wrote, it's a significant time. Things are changing so fast. It's going to be unrecognizable in 20 years, I think. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Wood snakes possessing excellent interpersonal and social skills, they often emerge as leaders within their circles of friends.
Yeah. My husband's Michael's a wood snake. He's like that. He's like
Awesome.
that. He definitely takes the leadership role as an Aries.
Yeah.
With a Sag moon. He knows everything.
Oh my God.
But he does. He knows quite a bit. Like, I usually believe him. I don't bother arguing. I'm like, you know how to do that? Okay. And then he does it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you know how to do so much stuff? I know how to do 3 things. But at least I do them well. So that's
Exactly.
the 3 things that I can do, I do well.
Well, you know what? That's good, because honestly, to be isolated in the winter in the year of 9, to have 3 things to fall back on is a good thing.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like alcohol, cigarettes, and skateboarding the ice or something.
So true. So true. I think, talking about that, I think figuring out, like, having a couple of streams of income by doing different things, and have them be things that you like, or things that you're good at, that you're fast at, and you can make a little money. I think that's I've always been self-employed, so I've always had to sort of reinvent myself. And really, it's a kind of a struggle, but it's kind of nice that you don't have to answer to anybody too.
Yeah.
I've never
I
been good at
agree.
that.
Yeah, I agree. And I've always had that kind of ethic to have some kind of side thing because that you love doing.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about actually making money if you're doing something you love, like the money comes later.
Yeah, the money comes. I mean, the money is a flow of energy. You just kind of have to open up to it.
Yeah.
There'll be times when it's harder and times when it's easier. That's
Yeah.
why you go to an astrologer to
Yeah.
find out when things are flowing, and or maybe what you can even do to make it better, or work with the energy as it is. But the energy is available to all of us. So if we don't utilize it, somebody else will.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, the economy is going to be the biggest, like, nail biter of the year. So, think about your now environment, your physical environment, and how is it still okay? Is it the same? Is it changing? And you will adapt. If you project into, oh my God, and panic, you're giving that energy. Try not to go past like a sort of right now time, because it just seems like there's so many threats out there. And what did we warn like just a few weeks ago? Remember that what you're seeing isn't exactly the truth. That these stories are embellished, it's hyperbolic. Be aware of that, right? And that's exactly what's happening.
So we have a new moon coming up. We're gonna have to get on for moonshine, right?
Yes.
So the new moon is Wednesday
Oh, okay.
in Aquarius, but maybe we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
I
But
think that's where this whole sulfuric thing is happening. As I see it, like waving in my head like that. Saturn was the traditional ruler of that sign.
yes, it's
So
kind of
there is some
cool.
of that.
Yeah.
There is some of that. And has been also a lot of references to cherry blossom. So I don't know if that has anything to do with any political, economical, and economy or any kind of related thing, or if it's my family thing that it's coming up. I don't know why, but I keep seeing it everywhere. So it's not that it's kind of like a fruit thing, like a fruit tree. So it might just be this whole citrus thing also that's been happening. That did occur a couple weeks ago where I'm like, it smells like this, like a citrus thing is going on. And this is a lemon tree right here.
Mm.
But it wasn't that. And I wonder if it was some kind of snowstorm in Florida sort of thing. So yes, expect that to be like, get your vitamin C from
Or
the
it could be
table.
the fact that the oranges are still on the vine in California because 75% of the migrant workers didn't show up.
Right. Or it's burnt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this has been a lot of Uranian events, and maybe it is getting ready for this new moon. It's on Wednesday, huh?
Hexeth got through. Did you hear that?
I did witness a brief thread come up about, and I'm like, of course he did, because what's his fart was the deal breaker, Vance, right? And then I also saw a thing where Elon got like kicked out of the White House and now he's on like the South Lawn or whatever it is where they put you in because you're annoying. So they like moved him over to some shit. It's just so crazy. Yes, the new moon is at 6:30 or 7:30 for you on Wednesday. So yeah, this Uranian energy is really, it throws you a curveball, and I
And
think about all the
it's also trine Jupiter. The new moon is going to be trine Jupiter as
and
well.
Jupiter's in Gemini, which is also an air sign situation. So anything that air potentiates or potentiates air.
Yeah. Air, a lot of air, a lot of water. Those are the two primary. In February, it's like almost all water. It's crazy. You got the Sun in Pisces, you got Saturn in Pisces, you have Venus in Pisces for a little while. You have Neptune in Pisces, the North Node in Pisces. The North Node conjuncts Neptune, I think, on the 7th of February. So a lot of that Neptunian, illusionary, misty. You can't really see I feel like this North Node in Pisces is really asking us to have faith in our vision. And I don't really know what else.
That's kind of a flooding situation in my.
Oh yeah, definitely flooding. Mm-hmm.
And we've had 3 pipe bursts in this building in the past 2 days. It's like a rapid thaw kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's the smell. Has been like there's some kind of sulfuric gas. This freaking
It would be.
it smells like onions. You know that Chicago smells like onions, and maybe it's coming up through the pipes or something. I don't know, but That's been the dominant tone or note since
The synesthetic note.
Friday. Oh my
I
God.
bet you wish you smelled gardenias most of the time, but you don't seem to smell gardenias.
And even I know, and some things are good and you don't mind it, and some things are unpleasant, but you don't know what's going to trigger what, so you have to be ready to divert some kind of things. And even those kinds of things, the perfumey things, that can get a little noxious. That can
Well,
get
yeah. It's still sulfur, like farts. Smell like farts, right? It must be.
That's methane. That's a little different. Methane gas is a little different.
Oh, okay. All right.
Unless you put raw onions in your. Oh my God. And the people next door had an onion thing going on. So I think, but they're not even home now. So I don't know. It just, it seems to land on that note that the Saturn is something. If you were going to roll the dice, Saturn is something to pay attention to, because that's that's right.
That's what you do. Yeah.
Made that connection. And if you were going to give it a number, it would be the number 5. That's the color.
So I thought maybe I'd just pick a couple of cards for next week. You want to pick some cards?
It's also the Saturday is Saturn's day.
Yes, it is.
That's why when I woke up yesterday, I thought it was Saturday. I'm like, oh, it's Saturday. I don't have to.
I have to go to work. Damn.
That's what it was. That was the initial launch of that whole thing. So we'll see. And honestly, I don't even know what to say about some of the stuff that's going on, because I'm afraid I'm going to have an episode where I just explode at some point.
It got some good cards so far.
What are you pulling on?
Just the week ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to pick like 5 cards, I think. Oops.
All right. So let me concentrate on the week ahead. I think I'm going to do these cards seem to pick up nice on the camera that I can use here.
So in the meantime, I'm going to just look around here.
Rough week, you guys. Oof.
It has been a rough week. It really has. He's a fall down drunk and bound to get himself in hot water. Yeah, if he didn't get in, they would have put they would have put DeSantis in, I think, and that is even scarier.
I was wondering. Yeah, I remember you said that, and I was wondering who was going to be, if what could possibly be worse, but apparently that could be worse. So he will fall on his butt. We'll see how long it takes. These high-end, underqualified, people that have problems that we don't think can be, easily managed in that kind of setting are going to do well. They're not. So we should be like doing a lottery on a timeline. Right? Sorry about the noise, actually. So the week ahead, like 4 cards. Okay.
I'm just curious.
This week, right?
We often get similar cards, so let's see what you got.
You know what I saw? 8 of Cups. So walking away, leaving the story. Okay. She is an immigrant in this deck. It is maybe significant to something that you might bother you. Okay. And the Tower.
Wow.
Those are the only 2 I saw so far. So a shakeup in in that idea. And then the Eight of Pentacles.
Okay.
So it seems like there's reserve and law and things like that people are working on. This would be maybe behind the scenes sort of thing. And the outcome is the Page of Cups. Please tell me why this card is coming up on a lot of readings. It's a surprise.
Yeah, it can be pleasant too. It can be a pleasant surprise.
It could be a pleasant surprise. And she looks fun. She looks fun. So I think, hold out for the best possible outcome until it's too hard not to.
All right. So you showed all your cards?
Right. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
So the first card I got was the Queen of Swords, and my first thought was a legal action that's going to stop something. So I think a lot of his things that he signed are illegal. So I think some of that stuff is going to get stopped. Then I have the Nine of Wands, which is keeping your boundaries. So this is about really standing up for what you believe and protecting yourself and protecting your boundaries. Then I get the Page of Wands, which to me is a message that we hear, and it's in this deck. The Page of Wands is like one of those, who throws the baton in the air that's on fire. So it's going to be something big on fire. I don't mean LA. I'm sorry about that, guys. And then we get the three of cups. Although in this deck they're celebrating and they're in the rain, so this could be rain for California. And then the last card is the Gemini card, the lovers. It's about choices.
Yeah.
So I think by the end there'll be a choice that needs to be made, but it doesn't look that bad actually. These cards don't look that bad from my perspective anyway. I think it's going to be better than we think. Again, but that may be because we're not investing in the fear and just do what you can where you're at, what you're doing. If you can protect somebody who needs protection, you protect them. If you can't, you bubble them in the white light. You hold the space. You pray. You meditate, and you be happy. I was having this conversation with my friend, and we went to Cambridge the other day. And I said, what overcomes fear? What's the true healer? And I said, love, right? Love is the healer. I said, and when are you your happiest? When you're doing something you love. So if love can overcome fear and love is the ultimate healer, it's almost like if we want to do our part, we have to be doing something that fills our heart with love.
Yeah.
That's the light, and that's going to shine, and people are going to be attracted to it. And we're like it's almost like an internet of light, right?
Yep.
That's the vision I'd like to leave with: an internet of light, and dispelling the darkness, and all of the boogeymans are just going to go.
Yeah. You're right, Mary. In the comment, she said, if we allow them to steal our mental health, then they've won. Absolutely.
Right.
There's nothing it's really interesting how we can absolutely be resilient to what we know is occurring and how we function. We've got this. Don't let that fear take over.
Right.
I don't know how else to put it. Okay. After I had cancer, I wasn't afraid of some shit anymore. I wasn't. Some shit just doesn't scare me. And this bitch doesn't scare me. With that, okay, both sets of cards said next week, I think we can definitely put a good spin on it. At least we know there's going to be a surprise and that Uranian energy is dominant, i.e., the Tower. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Expect the unexpected.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love
Hi,
you.
everyone. Love you. Thanks for joining us this evening. Next Saturday, my channel, Victoria's
Yeah. We got to squeeze in a moon shadows also
Moon
because
shadows, yes.
this new moon, and I'm available for that. And time out with giblets tomorrow morning.
Oh, well, you know, I'm waiting. I can't.
We'll see what he has to say
The
about.
only thing I can manage is a cup of coffee, and then I can't do anything else till I hear what Jibs has to say.
He'll be in a good mood because it'll still be warm enough for him to go outside and have a walk. So we'll see. All righty, guys. Love you. Love you.
All right, guys, take care. Namaste.